Hello students, now we are going to discussing about continuing professional development program, CPD program. Okay, here the CPD is the ongoing process. In this we are developing, maintaining and documenting our professional skills. Okay, these professional skills may be gained by the two ways. One is formally through any courses or from any training. Second one is informally from our job or by watching the other persons. Next we will see the principles of continuous professional development. Here it is one of the systemic and ongoing continuous process, and the CPD is more effective as professionally. Not only that, CPD is going to including the activities both in the written format, or we can also learn from our workplaces. Not only that, this continuing professional development will improve the relationship between the practitioners in his working organization. Okay, CPD is our own responsibility of the practitioner, or the organization will help the practitioner to meet the needs of his job or profession. Okay, actually our professional development is our own responsibility. For this, our organization will help us to meet our needs of our job or the profession. Next we will have the CPD cycle. Okay, these are the steps involved in the continuing professional development cycle. Here the first one is reflection, second one is planning, third one is action, and fourth one is evaluation. Here reflection means first we should think about our practice as a healthcare professional. Next we will go for the planning. In the planning we are going to deciding what and how and when to learn related to our job or related to our profession. Okay, once after deciding we will go into a action. That means here we are going to starting the learning, and also we are going to documenting what and all we learn in the action. Okay, after the action, once after completion of the learning, we will identify the benefits of our learning. That is called evaluation. First reflection, next one is planning, third one is action, and fourth one is evaluation of the professional skills and related to our job or related to our profession. Okay, next we will see the education and training. Okay, here one of the responsibility of the pharmacist. Okay, he or she want to educate or train himself and the persons who are working in the hospital. Okay, normally in which things the pharmacist is going to educating means is going to educating on pharmacokinetic properties, ADRs and drug interactions of the all medication which are used in the hospital, and the proper use of the medication in the hospital. Not only that, the pharmacist is going to monitoring the purchasing procedures and prescribing trends, the both related to the OTC drugs and prescription drugs. Not only that, he is going to monitoring the manufacturing and distributing process of the drugs in the hospital. At last he is going to training the communication. He is going to training the other junior pharmacist or the community pharmacist related to the pharmacy tasks. This all of thing about the hospital pharmacy, about the drug use in the hospital. He or she, that means the pharmacist is going to educating the persons who are working in the hospital. Normally in this education and training program we have two types of programs are there. One is internal teaching program, second one is external teaching program. Here internal teaching program means the pharmacist is teaching or training, he is going to giving to the persons who are working inside the hospital. That is called internal teaching program. Normally he is going to educating the student nurses, graduate nurses, house and medical staff, UG students and clinical pharmacists, the hospital administrative department and also patients. Okay, what is mean by external teaching program means this teaching program will done outside of the hospital. First we will see the training to the student nurses. Okay, See here, the hospital pharmacist mainly what and all he want to teach to the student nurses is going to teaching about the pharmaceutical calculations and the pharmacology of the drugs. Mainly he is going to teaching about these two things, pharmaceutical calculations and pharmacology of the drugs. Whenever he is teaching, each time whenever he is teaching, he want to update the lectures by including the what and all latest developments are coming in the pharmacology and what are the latest developments are coming into the therapeutics, that new drugs also he should include while he is teaching into the student nurses. Next we will see the seminar for graduate nurses, house staff and medical staff. Here normally the hospital pharmacist want to provide any information to the nurses, he will print the information on a paper and he will distribute to them, that is called a newsletter. He will say, give the information in the form of a newsletter, but sometimes there is need to a direct or personal presentation is afforded by conducting a seminar on latest available therapeutic agents to the medical staff. What and all the information normally the hospital pharmacist is going to giving through the seminars means the location of the pharmacy, the persons who are working in the pharmacy, the hours of operation, next what are the services that are provided by the hospital pharmacy department, and what are the use of generic names, and what is mean by the formulary, what is the use of abbreviations, and what is the use of research drugs, and what is mean by automatic stop orders, and how to ordering the narcotics, and what is the scope and composition and scope of the pharmacy and therapeutic committee, what are the cost of the medication which is available in the pharmacy, and what are the incompatibilities of the IV fluids, and what is mean by this drug interactions, and what are the type of drug interactions available. These should be discussed by the pharmacist to the nurses by giving the seminars or by giving into the presentation. Okay, next we will see the training to the undergraduate students in the hospital pharmacy. Here the hospital pharmacist will train the undergraduate students in the following activities like knowledge of drugs and their actions, and how to develop and conduct a pharmaceutical manufacturing program, and what are the control procedures are available, and what is meant by teaching and inter-service or in-service training program, and how to conduct and participate in a research, and how to administer or how to manage a hospital pharmacy. That should be taught by the hospital pharmacist to the undergraduate students. Next one is here patient teaching program. Okay, the hospital pharmacist also will teach the patients regarding the following things during the discharge time. What is the name and purpose of the medication, and what are the precautions to be taken while taking this medication, and what are the other medications or foods or beverages should be avoided during taking these medications. That should be taught by the hospital pharmacist to the patients while discharging. Okay, not only that, training to the clinical pharmacist. Okay, the hospital pharmacist should provide training to the clinical pharmacist related to the following contents: about medical records, about drug history procedures, about patient drug profile programs, and what is mean by drug information, what is mean by person control center, what is mean by ADR program. That should be informed by the hospital pharmacist to the clinical pharmacist. Next, training residents in the hospital administration. Here the candidate or the person who are educated or who are completed masters in hospital administration will work or served as a hospital administrator in the hospital. Okay, the hospital pharmacy or the hospital pharmacist should provide information regarding functions and operation of the every department in the hospital to the hospital administrator. This is about the internal teaching program. Next we will see the what is mean by external teaching program. Here external teaching programs are conducted normally outside of the hospital. Okay, the hospital pharmacist will go to a school or the college as a guest lecturer or a speaker. He will give the training or he will teach some things about this hospital pharmacy are related to the some topics, that is called external teaching program. He is going outside and he is teaching. Okay, he will teach inside the hospital, that is called internal teaching program. If he teach outside of the hospital, that is called external teaching program. Mostly in the US, the chief pharmacist will work as a faculty in the college. He will work as a chief pharmacist in the hospital, as like same way he is work as a faculty in the college also. In these cases, the hospital pharmacist may also teach us courses other than the hospital pharmacy. He is also going to teach about product development and preparation of the parenteral products, and what is mean by sterilization techniques, what is mean by the pharmacology of the drugs, that should be taught by this chief pharmacist in the colleges also. That is called external teaching program. Okay, normally in India, some hospitals like Christian Medical Colleges Hospital, Vellore, and Grant Medical College Hospital, Joslock Hospital, KEM Hospital, all in Mumbai are going to encouraging their pharmacists related to this external teaching activities also. Okay, next we will see the what are the standards should be there for the hospital to undertake or to conduct a training program. For doing this internal and external teaching program, what and all standards should be there for that hospital. Here the hospital should be affiliated to the university as a teaching hospital. Next, the pharmacy department should be organized under the direction of legally qualified pharmacist. Not only that, sufficient person should be there for giving the training, even for giving the training and for taking the training from the hospital pharmacist also. We should have sufficient member of the student nurses and sufficient member of the graduate nurses, undergraduate students, clinical pharmacists, and the patients also. Not only that, the pharmacy department should have the adequate facilities to train and to educate the staff. The hospital pharmacy department should be there in the hospital, and it should be organized under the direction of the legally qualified pharmacist, and it should have the all adequate facilities to train this type of internal and to give the internal and external teaching programs. These are the standards of a hospital for undertaking this type of training program. This is about the continuing professional development. Continuing professional development means always we want to develop our knowledge by ourselves. This is our own responsibility.